This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
Nice and firm. Have to remote. Change the channel. Watch all these playoff games. If I get tired, might want to lay down a little bit. That's good. That's good. Oh, didn't notice you guys there. Pardon my progress. Just getting the couch ready, seeing us that we're going to be on the couch this January. Now, you would think that maybe we should be mad about that or whatnot, but actually we're not. We're not mad about that because you see, if y'all see that couch, I'm a small guy. Let me just show y'all right quick. I'm a small guy. I'm a small guy. I can't fit on this whole couch by myself. Even if I lay down, still plenty of space on its couch for someone to join me. But now who? Who could join the Saints fans on a couch this January? Oh, I know who. Those goddamn Dirty Birds. Yeah, they beat us, but you remember how much they were talking all that shit this offseason about how they were the top team? The national media was sucking them off with all those primetime games that Michael Penix was about to elevate the team, and they were going to be the NFC South champions and all that. Looks like the Atlanta Falcons fans are going to be on that same ass couch with us in January. To their credit, they can at least talk about how they beat us. They can talk about that at least. But they're going to be on that same couch watching the playoffs with the Saints fans. Boy, I tell you, you can't make this up. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jono Barnes Show. But it's shit more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss served like a lesson, we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why? This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why? This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil Jono sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores, it's what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back giving me all types of stress, but deep down she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah, when you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why?
This shit more than a game.
Yes, indeed. I hope you all had an amazing, amazing Thanksgiving, even you dirty birds. I had me a lot of good birds last Thursday on Thanksgiving. Pause. No diddy. And y'all know how we got to start off each and every version of the Jono Barnes Show, whether you're watching it horizontal or whether you're watching it vertical on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever. Leave a this shit more than a game in the chat right now to start off the month of December. Can you believe it? We are in December already. Kind of makes me sad. I know this is like the most wonderful time of the year, but I almost enjoyed the journey to Christmas Day more than the actual day of Christmas itself. So when it's like, oh, it's 22 more days to Christmas, 21 more days, I'm like, slow down, December. Let me enjoy the most wonderful time of the year. Let me cherish it because I damn sure can't cherish Saints football right now because the New Orleans Saints, you guys, lost another game. Now, I will say this, though. Let's talk about it. The Saints lose to the Miami Dolphins, right? Halftime of that game, y'all, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was legitimately thinking about like cutting off my camera and saying, I'm not doing no damn reaction video in the second half. Like, why? Why? Nobody's going to, besides you guys who are true to the Jono Barnes channel and the diehards and the this shit more than the game certified people that you guys are, the algorithm isn't going to push out a Saints versus Dolphins reaction video. Who in 2025, besides sickos like us, is going to watch or look for coverage or analysts or reactions of the New Orleans Saints versus the Miami Dolphins in 2025? However, I will say this. It ended up being a pretty good game. And that's why I always leave the camera on. That game actually ended up being a pretty good game. Actually, was probably, when it's all said and done, well, for now at least, a top 5 game this season. As far as like entertainment, like, I mean, it was better than that Rams game that I used my wife's credit card to travel to go to. Like, that game was a blowout from the beginning. Better than that Seahawks game, right? Better than even the Falcons game. I mean, how ugly that game was. But the Dolphins game, at least it was entertaining. At least it came down to the wire, so there was some sort of drama to it. And at least, I said this on Twitter, it was probably a perfect game for a rebuilding team and a fan base that has accepted that we are rebuilding, because you lose the game. Now, I was cheering for a win, but I'm not going to like cry tears if we lose games because it helps out our draft position. So it's kind of like we're in a win-win spot at this point now, right? As long as we don't get like blown out, I can accept, some hard fought losses. I'm not the guy who does the moral victory stuff, but for a year 1 rebuild, I'll give a small moral victory and say, hey, Tyler Shough looked real good. Tyler Shough looked real good. And the main thing, I would even argue, even over having a good head coach, is that you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. And Tyler Shough continues to make me feel like he might be that guy. I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm not saying writing in ink that he's the Saints 2026 starter and beyond. Still should write it in pencil. You better make sure that pencil has an eraser. But I do think Tyler Shough is doing enough to say that, Saints, y'all don't need to draft a quarterback with a top 3 pick next year. Invest in me. Give me some weapons. Get some exciting skill players for the fan base to finally get excited about during the draft day. And let's see what we can do. Tyler Shough makes some plays that you can't teach. That touchdown pass to Val, that was a damn good play that I'm like, good Lord have mercy. But he also does things that you can't see on the stat sheet. I can put up the stat sheet right now, show the 2 touchdowns and all that good stuff. But I'm not going to put up his stats because what I saw, besides just the numbers, was his pocket presence, which continues to have me astounded. Because I thought he was going to be, honestly, guys, like a Derek Carr Jr. When I was watching his college highlights, when we drafted him, and I was like, oh my God, let me see who this guy and see who we drafted. I was like, every time there's pressure in the pocket, this guy collapses. And he still struggles with pressure. But I mean, at this point, to be honest, what quarterback doesn't struggle with pressure? Like, even Tom Brady, the GOAT, besides Drew Brees, of course, struggle with pressure. So I'm not going to like knock him for that. But his footwork has been really, really good for a rookie to say that he's only started 4 games. And another thing, still in the stat sheet is there was one play where we called the play. Tyler Shough gets to the line of scrimmage. He actually notices the defense that the Dolphins are in. And he calls an audible and he tells Kelvin Banks, hey, watch out for the mic. Guess what happened? That mic came the way that Tyler Shough said it was going to happen. Banks picks it up. We make a positive play out of it. That's the type of shit you don't see on the stat sheet. That's the type of shit that gets you excited. Like, oh, our first round pick and our number 1 quarterback, like as rookies are doing stuff like that. Hey, maybe the sky isn't so doom and gloom. Maybe the sky actually is a little bit of blue and not just gray. So it's things like that that make me go, yo, Tyler Shough might be that guy. Long way to go. And no fault of his own. I mean, if there's a quarterback, if we wind up being, because if y'all see right now, we're not in a hunt for the playoffs, as Ziggy would say, but we are in that hunt for that number 1 pick. And if by chance we do finish top 3, maybe even top 2 or top 1, you can't not look at the quarterbacks of the draft, no matter who they are, even if we don't think that the quarterback class is as strong as we thought it would be before the season. You got to evaluate. But I think Tyler Shough might be doing enough to say, hey, unless they feel strongly about one of the quarterbacks coming out this draft, You ride Tyler Shough in 2026 and see what happens. And if he fails in 2026, hey, there's always going to be a quarterback class coming out the draft that you can fall in love with. So I don't know, y'all. I think Shough is doing the damn thing. I really do. I want to know what you guys think about it. I will also say this. I don't subscribe to the logic of, you keep drafting quarterbacks until you land one. Very polarizing opinion, maybe, because I'm probably one of the very small percentile who believes that. A lot of people believe, hey, what you got to lose? Keep drafting quarterbacks no matter where until you find one. And I'm not mad at that logic, and I would get it. And I would understand if we did draft a quarterback in 2026, right? With the first or number 2 or number 3 overall pick. I would understand that. But I guess I'm under the belief of what Drew Brees said when he said teams are failing quarterbacks because a quarterback deserves at least 50 high-level starts before you can fully evaluate, okay, is this the guy we want to build with or not? 50 starts, including college. So, we all know Tyler Shough has a long college career. He might be after college, maybe at 30-something starts. So I would say, yes, if you take him top 40 the way we did, he deserves, what does anybody deserve, right? But he deserves at least 2 seasons to see if he's that guy. Now, when you start drafting quarterbacks later in the rounds, like Spencer Rattler in the 5th round or whatever, yeah, we're going to play with okay, we'll give him a few games. If it doesn't work out, we didn't lose much. But I'm a believer in, the 2nd round being not as valuable as a 1st round pick. Obviously, a 1st round pick is very, very valuable. But the 2nd round pick is close enough, in my opinion. And I'm like, well, a top 40 pick definitely is a borderline 1st round pick, in my opinion. And then we took him top 40. If you took him top 40, you had to have some type of belief in him. So believe in him and see what he can do in 2026. You believed in him in 2025 to draft him. So what do you mean you might fall in love with Ty Simpson of Alabama or Mendoza at Indiana? Hell with that, man. Y'all believed in Tyler Shough to take him top 40. Invest in him. Especially if he doesn't do anything to lose the faith of the coaching staff, which he hasn't. I'm not saying he's grabbed the bull by the horns and says, I am for sure the next Saints franchise quarterback. But he has not done anything to lose the faith of why they took him top 40, in my opinion. So because of that, I don't buy into but you can still take a quarterback in the 1st round next year until you find one. I feel like if you believe in Tyler Shough top 40, then at that moment, Lord knows I didn't believe in him, but my team who I cheer for believed in him. So you invest in him. So I believe that we should invest in him. Because if not, then I feel like the top 40 pick was a waste. If you're just going to take a quarterback with the next 1st round pick in 2026. And if that quarterback we do take is great in 2026, if we take one, then yeah, none of this really matters, right? Obviously, I'm just talking to avoid. But I do think I'm of the Drew Brees opinion. If you take a quarterback, man, you got to invest in him. Can't be that, we'll give him a few games. Especially with this season and this Saints team. Are we really going to base Tyler Shough's whole career or future with this franchise on the 10 games that he's going to play with this chicken shit roster? I don't think that's fair at all. And granted, I've said 1,000 times, the F in the NFL doesn't stand for fair. But when you take somebody top 40, I would think that you go into that pick saying, hey, we're going to give him a lot of leniency and at least a borderline 2 seasons to show that he's that guy. But I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about the potential of a top 3 pick and taking a quarterback in a draft? But all things to say, y'all know who I was on draft day. I'm impressed with Tyler Shough. He's that very small light at the end of the tunnel of darkness that is being a New Orleans sports fan right now. And the great thing about me is I'm not afraid to be wrong. So if anybody had any motivation, I guess, to hope that he failed because you don't want to look like a dumbass, it would be me, given that I had one of the more prominent rants about the Saints taking him in the 2025 draft. And yet I cheer every Sunday. I'm like, man, I hope he makes me look stupid. I hope that he can one day say, screw you, Jono, whenever he sees me wearing the Tyler Shough jersey and says, you didn't believe in me in day one. Get the hell out of my face with that. I cheer for stuff like that because I don't care about being wrong as a sports fan. I damn sure don't care about being wrong when it comes to any negative takes I have about the New Orleans Saints. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. The funny thing about Sunday was Tyler Shough did not start off that game good at all. He was playing very poorly, and a lot of people on social media were chirping. Oh, boy, y'all ain't got much to say about Tyler Shough right now, huh? I thought after that Carolina game, he was the man. Y'all being quiet right now. Spencer Rattler could be doing all this. And I'm like, when do we lose the plot? And why do fans rather be right about a take than being wrong about a take? Or why would fans rather be right about some opinion that they had that nobody's going to give a damn about 3, 5, shit, even 10 years from now? I'll say 3, 5 years, 10 years. I'm talking about 3, 5, 10 days from now. And cheer for the team to be good. I cheer for Tyler Shough to be good the same way I cheer for Spencer Rattler to be good. And when Rattler had good games, I didn't get on social media being like, bro, I told y'all Rattler wasn't going to be it. Y'all sound stupid now. No, because I want my team to be good. I want anybody who was black and gold to be good. God damn, I cheer for Dennis Allen. I was hoping like Dennis Allen every year. I'm like, dude, prove me wrong. Make my apology as loud as my disrespect, please. He didn't get it done, but I didn't take like pride in being like, well, I'm one of the few fans who told y'all when we hired him. I said, I don't know about this continuity stuff, y'all. I was able to get talked into it by a lot of my diehard YouTube fans who were like, Jonathan, man, but don't think about it. You know, with Dennis Allen, everything stays the same, man. We're going to be fine. I was like, man, y'all, did y'all see what he did in that was Oakland, Jono. You know, don't worry about what he did in Oakland. This is New Orleans. We got the strongest foundation. And we see how that turned out, right? But I was one of the few fans right away who was like, hey, y'all, I don't know about Dennis Allen. But I wanted to be wrong. And I damn sure didn't come on here when he was bad and say, I told y'all motherfuckers, y'all dumbasses. Dennis Allen? No, I wanted to be wrong. I'm not taking pride of victory laps when I'm right about a negative Saints or New Orleans sports take in general. I'll mention it. I'll mention that I was right about it, but I'm not like taking victory laps or like going to sleep like, oh man, I'm so happy that Dennis Allen was so bad. Like some of these fans won't. They cheer for Tyler Shough to be bad. That makes no damn sense to me. Are you a Saints fan or not? Like whether you believed in him or not. Lord knows I did not believe in him on day one of that draft. I want him to make me look stupid because if he makes me look stupid, that means that the Saints are good. And the city of New Orleans does not give a damn if Jonathan looks stupid about a Tyler Shough take, if Tyler Shough is throwing 30 touchdowns and only 8 or 9 interceptions a season. So come on, fans, why did we lose the plot with that? Cheer for the guy. He's our guy right now. If he doesn't work out, okay, then you could come on and say, hey, I tried telling y'all, fine. But for now, man, cheer for him. I feel like fans get more enjoyment now out of being right about a negative Saints or Pelicans or whatever take than they get out of actually success of the team. I would never subscribe to that. I ain't gonna tell anybody how to fan how they want to fan, but I would never subscribe to that, dog. But the Saints lose to the Dolphins, and at least we had a little bit of positivity to come out of that game. As much positivity, I guess, as you can have for a team that only has 2 wins. And I want to give a shout out to Fox because they did something good. They actually did 2 things. One, I don't know if you guys watched the game via DirecTV, but I think it was the 3rd quarter, they cut off the game for like 5 minutes if they had technical difficulties. I was like, they must be trying to do me a favor because good Lord have mercy. At that point, the game was horrible. I was like, they may be trying to tell me, go outside. I was in New Mexico for the game still. Go outside. Get some of that New Mexico air. Go look at the beautiful mountains, John. Go spend time with your family. Go Christmas shopping. You're a Christmas geek, right? Go spend some time doing some Christmas shopping. But the game came back on, and I was glad because I'm like, hey, look, this shit more than the game. I don't give a damn. My team has 0 wins. I'm trying to watch every goddamn minute of Saints football that I can. But they also, as soon as our game ended, they cut on the Saints versus Falcons game, the Falcons versus Jets game. And as down bad as I was, because I was like, damn, it would have been nice to win that game against the Dolphins and give Tyler Shough some momentum and let a young team learn how to win games that they probably shouldn't win because that type of stuff is invaluable to a young team in the rebuilding era. Damn, did it feel good to watch the Falcons lose to the Jets. The Jets, y'all. The 3-win Jets, by the way. The Falcons lost to the Jets. Now, I know, how much trash can a Saints fan trash if a Saints fan could talk trash when the Saints lost to that same Falcons team just a week ago? Well, the answer to that is a lot. Good Lord have mercy, Falcons. I guess the Saints game was y'all Super Bowl last week, right? Y'all lost to the Jets? The Jets? Good Lord have mercy. We probably are going to beat the Jets this month. We're probably going to lose some of our draft position because we're going to beat the Jets. Y'all couldn't beat the Jets? Again, it's one thing to be that ugly girl that goes to prom knowing nobody's going to ask her out on a date. It's another thing to be an ugly girl who think they hot shit. And then they go to the prom and they're wondering why none of the guys are looking at them. Atlanta Falcons, boy, I swear I tell y'all. God bless y'all, man. I'm looking forward to watching the playoff games with y'all on the couch. Hey, maybe we'll watch the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs. The team that I guess apparently should have got the real hype of which NFC South team is going to finally come and dethrone the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The damn show wasn't the Falcons fans. Falcons fans might think I'm talking trash right now. I'm not actually. And none of these people in the chat right now are talking trash. All we're trying to do, shout out to my co-host Ziggy, we're trying to tell y'all. We're just trying to tell y'all, Falcons fans, we do this every season. I've been doing content for 5 years now. Sadly, we have not made the playoffs in any of those 5 years that I've been doing content. Maybe I'm the bad luck problem, right? But the Falcons have also not made the playoffs in any of the years that I've done content. And I get on here every week and I say, Falcons gone Falcon. And those Falcons fans, they think I'm talking shit. They think I'm just trying to get one up on them, yada, yada. No, I'm trying to help them out. Sometimes being the bad guy means you have to be the blunt guy. Sometimes the hard truth people can't accept. Like my dad always say, you want to make a friend, say a lie. But if you want to make an enemy, you tell the truth. Marinate on that for a little bit. I just be trying to tell the Falcons fans the truth. You guys also in the chat, y'all be trying to tell the Falcons fans the truth. And they still never want to listen. I see them in the chat right now, like Pro P, he's talking about something, ain't this supposed to be about y'all garbage ass ain'ts? Nah, Pro P, you see the opening video of the stream every Tuesday? I say it's not just a Saints show. We talk about all things sports, including your Atlanta Falcons. Hey, y'all wanted me to talk Falcons in the offseason. Y'all say, oh boy, Johnny, you better be talking about the Falcons this season when we doing the goddamn thing. Well, I guess y'all doing the goddamn thing, all right? The goddamn thing of keeping us company in January. We're like a perfect match of Saints and Falcons fans. That's why we're a great rivalry. I appreciate the Atlanta Falcons, y'all. I really do. I know that Thanksgiving is over, but I'm still in the mood of thanks. I'm thankful that they are our rivalry. I'm thankful that they have been a strong, like, brother, like, ally to the New Orleans Saints. See, while we are in this downfall of New Orleans sports and Saints fandom, the Atlanta Falcons fans, they grabbed us. They said, get your hand up, brother, man. We got you. We gonna be trash with y'all. We gonna not elevate our team with y'all. We not gonna make the playoffs with y'all. We're gonna let Tampa Bay, they ain't whatever answers, win the NFC South. And if another team has to do it, we'll let it be the Carolina Panthers. But we are gonna be unified and being trash with y'all, so that not only do y'all not have to be angry about your team being trash, but y'all don't have to watch a Falcons playoff game. So I thank you, Atlanta Falcons. To the Falcons fans, I thank y'all as well. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not being a bad guy. I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to gaslight you guys. For 5 years now, I've told you guys, the Falcons are gone Falcon. Y'all never listen. Y'all take it as trash talk. Y'all decline me. Y'all deny me. But guess what? Even Jesus was denied. He ended up being right. So maybe y'all want to listen to Mr. This shit more than the game. Let's get to some of these comments. I appreciate you guys for showing love tonight here on the Jono Barnes Show. Now, this is my good friend Stank Bastard. And he is a Bucs fan. So he always makes it a point to come and watch my shows on Saints Bucs week. And let me tell you how, and I'm not talking trash again to you Stank Bastard or to you Bucs fans, how irrelevant the Bucs fans are. Not the fans, the team. Hey, dog, it's Tuesday night. I kid you not, I had to like Google on Monday. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. When Stank, he texted me on Monday a funny video of a Falcons fan crashing out. You know, we are unified in that way too. Like us Bucs fans and Saints fans, we like laughing at Falcons fans have meltdowns. And I was like, he was like, first off, after Saints, but here's this funny video of the Falcons fan melting down. And I said, oh shit, let me look at the calendar. Oh shoot, we played the Buccaneers this week. Like I had no idea. That's how irrelevant the Bucs fans and their team are. I had no idea. Stank, I'm not talking trash. I'm just being honest. I had no idea we were playing the Bucs this Sunday until I saw Stank's text. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it is. You know, this is like a big week for the Bucs fans. Like, yeah, boy, the Saints, we get them again. Saints fans are like, yeah, okay, you know, the Bucs are on our schedule. We like my guy Jerry says, we don't think about them. They think that skit that I did, which is not a skit, it was actually a documentary, is like trash talking them. But that's how we think about their franchise. And I know they're gonna come or Stank on text and say, yeah, but hey, y'all don't have to care about us. We want to be 5-time NFC South champions and yada yada. Hey, God bless y'all. As long as it's not the Falcons. As long as it's not the Falcons. Wayne says, Jono, I agree with you about Shough. Go Shough. I appreciate you, Wayne. I've definitely done a complete 180 when it comes to Shough, and I hope that he continues to prove me wrong. Pro P, a Falcons fan, says, must be a blood or something to be connected to this. Are you talking about your team or my team, Pro P? That could be taken multiple ways. My girl ASAP Dickness says, And shout out to her. She went to that trash ass Saints Falcons game last week. Was it that Saints Falcons game? Whatever it was. I know we lost. So I know that, you kept at this shit more than the game energy, though. She says, I'm rocking with Shough because he is rocking with us. My guy, Bruce Saint, said wow, damn, I'm old. If Bruce Saint was in high school in 2017. Oh, Bruce Saint, because I believe 2017 was the last year the Falcons made the playoffs. And damn, you were in high school in 2017. I was already a grown ass man, like 8 years into my goddamn career as a worker. Ziggy, he making us feel real old. Ziggy says, and Ziggy sends his apologies, y'all. He's just really, really sick. No, not like physically about, heart problems, anything like that. He is sick because sadly, y'all, the New Orleans Saints are no longer in the hunt. That's right, y'all. After the loss to the Denver, good Lord, Jono. So the Miami Dolphins on Sunday be eliminated in the playoffs. Cannot any longer say that we are in the hunt or play his theme music. So I want to make sure y'all send some prayer emojis to my guy Ziggy, because he's been just absolutely bedridden with grief since Sunday evening when the New Orleans Saints were officially eliminated. And for the earliest time ever in me and his content career, he can no longer say that the Saints are in the hunt. But you know what, Ziggy? Be a little positive, because we are in the hunt for one thing. Like I said earlier, we are in the hunt for that number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So not all is bad, Ziggy. Not all is bad. What is not bad is the super chat that we just got from Slim Joan. Let's get to this shit more than a game air horn, shall we? Where that goddamn air horn button at? All right, there we go. Slim John thank you for that super chat. And Slim John says nothing. He just leaves a $5 super chat. Well, thanks a lot, Slim John. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your support. Goddamn, okay, the super chats are now coming in fast. Good Lord have mercy. Wayne Brown sends a super chat, and he also says nothing, but he does get this shit more than the game air horns. Wayne, I appreciate you as well. Wow, you guys are going to make this a happy Christmas for my son, Lil Jono. And the queen of the this shit more than the game community, not counting my mom and Clarissa, Sandra says, Jono, my heart has been broken this entire weekend by football. The Saints, she's a I forgot that you were a Grambling fan. I got some Southern ladies who follow me, who I even gave a Southern this shit more than the game graphic to. I feel bad, Sandra. I didn't know you were hard on Grambling. When will we be relevant again? Who was it, Sandra? Wasn't it Grambling? I know they had Glorilla perform at halftime, so at least y'all had that, right? Or was that Southern? Y'all had Juvenile. I know one of them had Juvenile, one had Glorilla. So either way, at least y'all band is this shit more than the game certified, but you definitely are this shit more than the game certified. Let me tell you, Sandra, it's tough times, not just for Grambling, for the Saints, but for New Orleans sports in general, because, I mean, goddamn, a lot of our teams are down bad right now. The Pelicans, we'll do a quick little segment on them later on in the show. Zion is now hurt again. Boy, I wonder who couldn't see that coming, right? Zion hurt? Are you kidding me? Wow, that's a shock. The Pelicans are down bad. And the shoe was down bad, but now that they have their new head coach, maybe gray skies are going to clear up. We'll talk about that in a little while either, too. And Sandra, I know you're a Grambling fan, but maybe you're like me and you cheer for any institution that represents Louisiana. Tulane is doing the damn thing. And this Friday, if Tulane wins against North Texas, they will be going to the college football playoffs, which would be great just for the city to have something to look forward to this late December. So I'm going to be doing the damn thing and cheering hard for Tulane. And I would suggest that you all do the same, just because, Tulane isn't like this big college powerhouse. I mean, shoot, every time Tulane has a good season, their coach gets taken from them the same way that their coach got taken from them as well this week. He's going to Florida, but he's going to finish out the season. And hopefully he can at least finish out with Tulane in the playoffs. But as a small school, to see what Tulane is doing is pretty damn remarkable. So I would hope that you guys, and I know some of y'all may not be huge college fans, and definitely some of you guys just aren't, maybe if you are a college fan, a fan of Tulane, but Tulane's representing our city real well right now. They keep that this shit more than the game energy. They shown me love multiple times. I'm going to be cheering hard for Tulane. Tulane is kind of like my last bit of hope, I guess, in 2025 sports season for New Orleans fans when it comes to, hey, maybe we get something out of this season. Shout out to LSU national baseball champs too this summer. But I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan. It's football, basketball for me. So for Tulane to have a shot at the playoffs if they win the AAC championship game this week, and when we had my girl Maddie on the show earlier this year, and I asked her about the playoffs, and she finished that show saying this shit more than the game. I think it'll be very poetic if Tulane ends up making the playoffs. So I hope that they do, and I hope that you guys support them because that institution deserves all the love right now when it comes to New Orleans sports. Like ASAP Digna says, I'm rooting for Tulane. Sandra says she's going to support all her Louisiana sports, but never Southern. All right, let me get to some more comments about the Saints versus Dolphins game. I'm a one-man show on that because my guy Ziggy is heartbroken with grief that the Saints are out the hunt. So please forgive me for some of my tardiness when it comes to putting up some of these comments. Brute Saints says, I genuinely hope that the questionable coaching by Moore will be a bad memory instead of into our foreseeable future. Now, look, this is another good topic to talk about with Kellen Moore. As I said in my reaction video, and I say it on Twitter as well. I say that game was perfect as far as rebuilding, but the one thing that wasn't perfect in that you just wish is that you don't leave that game into December of this first year rebuild believing that Kellen Moore is that guy. Am I wrong? Does anybody in the chat believe full-heartedly that Kellen Moore is going to be our coach that's going to lead us to prosperity? And I'm not saying that to say you or me are writing him off. I'm not saying that to say, we got to fire him. But does anybody have faith in Kellen Moore as of December 2nd, 2025, that he's the guy for the New Orleans Saints? Because me and Brute definitely don't. Now, we're not saying that we can't be won over. As Brute comment says, like, hey, we hope that by next season, next October, we're like, oh boy, thank God that we were just probably overreacting to that. But I can't say with my chest. Brute can't say with his chest, man, Kellen Moore is that guy. Like, we got our quarterback and we got our head coach of the future. Because he just does some questionable coaching decisions, man, that makes you go, what? And he doesn't even have the charisma to back up a questionable season that it's been so far. At least be fun. We love pettiness in New Orleans. We love our players and our coaches to have some character. That's why we love Sean Payton. At least be fun. He's dry as hell. He's drier than a blanket. He's dry. And then when you see him on the sideline, you don't see him, not that he has to, but you never see him chewing out players. You never see him you just see him always reading his play sheet and just kind of to himself. And I'm like, I don't know with this guy. And then I said it last week, that game against the Falcons, if we had a good coach, would have been winnable. I say this week, maybe with a better coach, we win that Miami Dolphins game. Now, again, I am not writing off Kellen Moore, but I will say he does leave a lot to be desired so far. Long way to go. This is a horrible situation for any head coach. This is a horrible roster for any head coach. I am willing to, like I say, be patient and be graceful to him, and I'm still willing to give him 3 years. But next year, I want to see a lot more. And then by year 3, because even if we go 4-13 next year, 5-12, I'm not going to be 5, unless we like absolute jack shit horrible. I'm not going to be fire Kellen Moore. No, I'm giving him 3 years. But next year is a big bridge year to that 3rd year. Next year, you got to show some type of improvement. You can't do how bad of a situation that was until year 2, the way how NFL works fast and how parity is. Next year, I'm not going to take off the gloves, but I'm going to loosen them a little bit. The gloves are still on pretty tight right now. I'm being graceful to Kellen Moore. I'm criticizing them, but I'm being graceful. Year 2, I'm loosening them gloves up a little bit. Year 3, they're completely off. What's up? The Saints good or not? But next year, Kellen Moore, he'll be here before you know it. I want to see some goddamn improvement. My guy St. John Butler says he definitely makes some questionable play calls, but let's see what he does with his roster, which is a big thing. He's going to get a lot more of his players coming in this offseason. I agree with that, John, which is why I'm willing to give him time. You can't hire a coach and then after 1 year be it's just I feel like with quarterbacks. If you take them or you believe in them, invest in them. See what happens.
Whether as a fan, I personally believe in him or not, I would hope that my team invests in them enough to see it through. Like Dennis Allen, by year 2, we should have known. All right. Maybe by year 2, we know with Kellen Moore, but at least give them that investment to say, hey, we're with you. We're going to at least give you a shot before we just go crazy and say, after 1 year or a few games, we're off the train. My guy, the Know the Chop podcast says, Kellen Moore is a rookie head coach. We all know he was going to make mistakes in first year. Give him time to grow. I'm not mad at that, Know the Chop, and I will. I hope that you don't take my critique or some of the critique of some of these other fans, because I feel like the fans in my show and chat and channels have been rational. I hope you don't take that as like saying, we hate Kellen Moore. He's never going to be great. I'm just calling a spade for now. But I'm hoping, of course, that he definitely improves as a head coach. Obviously, Sean Payton spoiled us, came into year 1. He already had that swag, had that charisma, brought us to the NFC Championship game. That bought him a lot of time because he didn't make the playoffs 2 years after that. But we were like, hey, but that guy got some swag, and he brought us to the NFC Championship game his first year. So he's kind of spoiled us with how we go about our evaluations, I guess, of head coaches. But I am going to give Kellen Moore grace, and I think a lot of fans are as well. Black Honey Money Jones. That's a new name. I don't think I've seen ever. So welcome to the show, Black Honey Money. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But he says it's because he is an offensive coordinator and not a head coach. And I ask you this, Black Honey Money. He is supposed to be a great offensive coordinator, right? So you would think that the offense would look a lot better. I know that we don't have the greatest talent, but you at least felt like as a fan, we know what our offensive identity is, and we know what it's going to be once we really add up some top of the line players. And as an offensive coach, I'm missing like what does he do that's innovative gets me excited? Because the offense looks very week to week, hell, even play to play. Like no rhyme or reason to it. I'm going to be graceful, but I want to see more from the offensive wizard. McLovin Jr. says, we are the laughingstock of the NFL. The Saints are the Cleveland Browns. This is a 5-year. Good Lord, a 5-year. We're already in year 5 without Drew Brees of not making the playoffs. McLovin, you said we got to wait another 5 years? I hope not, man. I hope not. Some South says Kellen ain't got no sweat. He doesn't. I don't think that's going to change, y'all. I don't think you grow into like he is who he is. And it's fine. Like, look, I can accept a boring head coach if he wins. Tony Dungy was one of the most boring, dry personality head coaches of all time, but he was a great head coach. So he's beloved in Tampa and he's beloved in Indianapolis, right? He won. That's the most important thing. I would prefer having like a coach with some moxie, with some swag, a coach that takes shots at the Falcons the way Sean Payton did, but I'm not going to make that the be all end all. But you better win. You better win if you're not going to have like some fun or some spunk to you as the coach of the New Orleans Saints. St. John says the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns of the NFL. What do you mean the Saints are the Cleveland Browns of the NFL? Let me get to some more of the earlier comments when we were talking about Tyler Shough and his impressive performance. The Know the Chop said, Shough gets my stamp of approval. Let's just get some weapons that he can work with. A speedy wide receiver, a solid tight end, another running back. Let's beef up the O-line. Let's get another guard, and let's trade Cesar Ruiz ASAP. And Brute Saint says, personally, I'm down to roll with Shough next year. If we get a top 3 pick, he says we should actually trade it down and see if we can get more picks. I would not be mad at that. I would not be mad at that at all. Trizzy Che says, I haven't had my heart race like that in over a year or two. Now, I feel like we've had some close games, Trizzy Che, the last 2 years that, that heartbeat was going fast. I know the Sunday was crazily enough, I even said in my reaction video, I said, why is my heart beating fast for a 2-win team? But I feel like we've had some close games the past 2 years that the heartbeat was, that wasn't like our first time having a good game in a long time. But it's still astounding that Saints and Dolphins game ended up being as good as it was. It wasn't great football. I ain't going to send that football tape to the Hall of Fame and say this is what NFL football should be. But for 2 average to very mediocre teams, it was pretty exciting. As exciting as it can be for a game like that. McLovin also says, I am not impressed with Moore. A real offensive coordinator would have had this offense a top 15 offense. I don't know about top 15 because I just don't think that Kamara is obviously in the twilight of his career. Our O-line isn't that great, especially with McCoy out. Olave, to me, is not a number 1 wide receiver. So I can't say top 15, but I just wish that I saw better. I guess I wish that he could have at least like shown that, hey, even with average roster, I can elevate them. Like
Sean Payton, I'm sorry, y'all. I always go down to Sean Payton well, but I can't help it. Like Sean Payton would have some games like where we would have like we'll be down to our third, fourth, fifth string wide receivers, and we would still put up 28 plus points. Granted, you got Drew Brees at quarterback, but even when the games when Drew Brees was not in, with Teddy Bridgewater, with Taysom Hill at quarterback, right? Trevor Siemian, like the offense was still a little competent enough, and you like, hey, no matter what, we know our offense is something. We may not be a great team every year with Sean Payton, but offense is going to be something. And I saw Sandra asked earlier, are we cheering for Denver with Sean Payton and them being the number 1 seed? I'm not proactively cheering for them, Sandra. I'm not mad at them. I'm like, I think it would be cool if they do win. If they win, I'll be very happy for Payton. But as much as I'm grateful for Payton, as much as I carry his water and I will ring about it, he's a Hall of Fame coach. I also remember that he left us with this cap situation, and he left us with Peyton Turner as his last draft pick, and he skipped on Lamar Jackson for Marcus Davenport. So I'm not like, I really want Sean Payton, to win an AFC championship and go to the Super Bowl this year. But I will cheer for him if he does happen to make it. But I'm not like, there's no team that I'm really like super hard going for in the playoffs when we are on the couch with the Falcons fans. Maybe Buffalo, because I love the Buffalo fans, and I hope that Buffalo can experience what we got to experience in 2009. But the Broncos aren't like my adopted team. No, but I will be happy for Payton and quietly, I guess, cheer for them if they continue to shock the world and win these games that they probably have no business of winning. Like the Northern Chop says, man, he said, I'm only rooting for one team. That's the 2-10 New Orleans Saints. Tigmeister says that Tyler Shough looks like Ian Buck. Whoa, Tig, you're gonna have to. I hope you're talking about facial wise, right? Because ain't no way. Tyler Shough showed in like 5 plays more than Ian Buck ever showed. I don't know where that's coming from. Ain't no way. I know I say some crazy things sometimes. Look at my Tyler Shough draft day reaction. Ain't no way you saying Tyler Shough looks like Ian Buck. Come on, Tigmeister. You're gonna have to be a little more elaborate with that. That's crazy. And let's finish the Saints Dolphins talk with this because McLevin brings up a good point. Where is it? Charlie Smyth looks legit. And that was awesome. One is because the whole country of Ireland apparently is Saints fans now because they were cheering hard for Charlie Smyth and watching the game Sunday. And I even joked earlier in the game on Twitter. I was like, man, he got a whole country watching, and it felt like he wasn't going to have any shot to actually kick a field goal or even an extra point because of how the game was going. But thankfully he did, and he boomed that goddamn motherfucker. I mean, I was this close to saying, good Lord, if Charlie Smyth was our kicker all season long, we probably might have 4 wins by now. I'm joking, but it makes me wonder, why didn't we give Charlie Smyth a chance earlier? I'm not saying, obviously I remember reading the training camp reports that he was missing a lot of kicks and Blake was making them. So you got to go with the data. You got to go with the results. But by late September, we saw what Blake Groupie was. And congratulations to him, by the way. I saw he just signed with the Colts practice squad. So hopefully he can rebound his career. But we saw what Blake Groupie was by late September. We're a rebuilding team. I don't know why it took Kellen Moore so long to cut Blake Groupie and say, Charlie Smyth, we're going to see what you can do this season. And maybe we got something now. I mean, we'll see. He might miss a kick this Sunday, and we'll be like, I don't want to crown him yet. I'll say he's the next great kicker. But he looked pretty good on Sunday, and that onside kick was also awesome. That onside kick he did was perfect. That's how we even had a chance to go back into that game. He did an amazing onside kick. So the life of a 2-and, what are we? Are we 2-10? No, I keep saying 2-9, but are we 2-10? We are, 2-10. The life of a 2-10 team. Our excitement is about, hey, we might have a kicker. But hey, kickers be winning games. And we damn sure know that they be losing games as well. Enough about me and hearing from me, guys. I want to hear from you guys. So after this word from one of our sponsors, we will hear the voicemails of Saints fans after we lost to the Miami Dolphins. Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than the game, man. No, the chop. If you want to get my WWE Championship game, that's fine. You just got to meet me in the Hell in a Cell Last comment about the Saints Dolphins game. So themselves says if Olave would have caught that ball, we would have been 3-9. And that's what separates, in my opinion, like the number one receivers from like the very good number 2 receivers. Because I feel like Michael Thomas would catch that pass, right? Because we know Michael Thomas was a dog. He was elite. He was a number 1 receiver. Olave, he might have a game this Sunday where he goes for 112 yards. You're like, yeah, Olave is good. But never in my heart do I believe that Olave is a number 1 receiver. I feel like, and I'm fine with keeping him, but definitely don't overpay for him because he is not a number 1 receiver. He might, if we draft a receiver this year, a true number 1 receiver, he might go ham as a number 2 receiver. But I think that's his ceiling is like a great number 2 receiver because he's never going to be a great number 1 receiver, in my opinion. I like the guy. Not saying, oh, he's horrible. But I do agree that a number 1 receiver would have caught that pass, in my opinion. In my opinion, at least. All right, let's get to our voicemails. After the New Orleans Saints lost a heartbreaker, should I say heartbreaker, to the Miami Dolphins.
Saints are eliminated from the playoffs, which is surprising to absolutely fucking no one. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Wow. Man, a few words you are this week, huh, Bruce Saint? Oh, well, I guess, hey, he was very efficient in that phone call because he's right. New Orleans Saints were officially eliminated and are out of the hunt.
Brother Jono, what's good with it? It's your boy, man, Kai the Great, a.k.a. Cobra Kai, the host of the Nola Chop podcast, brother. Man, this was like the tale of 2 halves by the New Orleans Saints, man. The first half, the offense wasn't really clicking. They was asleep all in the first half. Our defense held their own for the most part, you know what I'm saying? But then the second half came and the offense woke up and they gave us a chance to almost win this game today, man. But this was a heartbreaker loss for the black and gold, brother, man. But if I got to give a shout out to if I have to give a shout out to a certain player on this team today, I have to give a shout out to Devon Villey, man. This was a coming out party for Devon Villey. The man had 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown, man. Like this how he's supposed to use a big body receiver like Devon Villey. That was what Kellen Moore should have did like throughout this whole season. You know what I'm saying? Throughout this whole season. But man, this was a heartbreaker loss, man. But shout out to Devon Villey. Shout out to Charlie Smyth, man. Shout out to Charlie Smyth. He had made his first field goal of the day. Shout out to Cam Jordan. He had 2 sacks. Shout out to Kool-Aid McKinstry on the interception. And shout out to Danny Stuffin with that big ass tackle on Devon Achane, man. But this was a heartbreaker loss, brother Jono, man. But nonetheless, man, we are 2-10 on the year. You know what I'm saying? But it is still black and gold all day, every day. You know what I mean? But much love to you, brother Jono, and shout out to my dog, man, brother Ziggy, man. I forgot to shout him out on my last call, man. Shout out to y'all, brothers. Y'all keep doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? And as always, man, this shit right here is more than a motherfucking game. Who that? I forgot to mention one more thing. We finally scored in the red zone today. Not once, but twice. Once with Chris Olave and the other one to Devon Villey. You know what I'm saying? And I think the last time that the Saints scored in the red zone was probably against the Buffalo Bills. That was so long ago. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see that we finally scored some touchdowns in the red zone because they've been allergic all season scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So I'm hoping that this will carry on through the next game and beyond throughout the rest of this season. We only got 5 more games left, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that Kellen Moore don't revert back, you know what I'm saying, with his play calling, you know what I'm saying? Because it was great to see that we finally woke up and scored some touchdowns in the red zone. Finally, my brother. Finally, you know what I'm saying? But
good point.
Nonetheless, we still lost, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Still black and gold all day, every day, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's about it, family, you know what I'm saying? But as always, man, this shit is more than a motherfucking game.
Very good. I got you have a YouTube channel, huh? It was a very good call. Shout out to No Chop Podcast. I hopped on Kellen Moore's play calling, but that's a good point that the red zone offense did improve. So I got to give credit where it's due. If I'm going to be about the negatives, I'm going to have to be about the positives too. The red zone offense did look better that second half of the game. And a great point about Devon Valet that I did not harp on enough during our recap of the game, because it's early, but another thing I'm hoping to be happily wrong about is that I was critical of when we traded a 4th round pick for him, because that 4th round pick, if Danes continue to go the way they're going, is going to be a top 100 pick. And I was like, now why in the hell are we trading a potential top 100 pick for Devon Valet? And I felt strengthened by my take as the year went on, because we were barely using him, right? And unfortunately, it took us finally having to trade Brandon Cooks to finally utilize him. But he looked real good Sunday. And if he continues to keep this up, I'm not going to crown him after 1 week. But if he continues to keep this up, I am going to be very happy to come on here and say, hey, I was wrong about that. Like, hey, shout out to Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore. Like, they got that right. That was a good trade. So only one game, but he looked really good in that one game that you hope that, hey, all he needed was opportunities, and he needed to, get the chance without being buried in the depth chart, which he shouldn't have been buried in the depth chart to begin with. But he's going to be a good receiver for us and easily worth a number 4, 4th round pick. So I'm not going to say I was wrong yet, but I'm very excited that it looks like I'm going to be opening the door to Ronesville yet again with a negative Saints take. Let's get to our next voicemail.
Yeah, Saints Wolf. And that kicker is pretty good. Blake with a lot of field goals. And LSU now, the next head coach, Lane Kiffin. By the Scouts speaking by.
We'll actually get to Lane Kiffin and the whole scenario with that, and going to LSU and all the drama that caused to close out the show, Kyle. But I'm actually excited about that, Lane Kiffin hiring by LSU, but we'll get to that in a little bit. What we'll get to right now is we got one text, surprisingly, from a Falcons fan. Usually they're like mice. They don't show up when the cheese is rotten, and the cheese was definitely rotten this past Sunday. But it's funny how, you don't get as many text messages in the chat tonight. I don't see as many Falcons. I saw Juddy Bear show his face for a little bit, but funny how that goes, huh? If they would have beat the Jets, we would have had like maybe 4 or 5 Falcons fans dominating the chat tonight. But either way, we did get this text from that one Falcons fan, and he said, in the wise words of my fellow Falcons fan, we are the trash. We are the Falcons. We are the team that wants to blow a lead. Every damn year, it's a choice that Falcons fans have. To support this damn ass team, it's true the Falcons are going to be trash every single year. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a haiku poem or what, because was that supposed to be lyrics or something? It doesn't even rhyme. Either way, he also says, in all seriousness, another inexcusable performance. Got way too comfortable after beating the Saints that we end up falconing like we always do. At least I'm teaching him something, huh? At least the pass rush is something I can look forward to next season. On to the next one. And that's actually an underrated component to the Falcons season, because they went ham on improving their defensive line and defense overall, feeling like that was going to be the thing to finally get them over the hump. And they did a good job. I will admit, the Falcons defense is good. That D-line is good. Like James Pierce, even though they ain't going to have a first-round pick, because if y'all see, who's that team in the top 10? Number 9. Yeah, why is their team naming? Oh, because they're giving their first-round pick to the Los Angeles Rams. But if the Falcons fans want to take any type of consolation, it's that, hey, James Pierce does look pretty good. Their D-line looks really good. They're actually like top 5, I believe, in sacks. And yet they still are sad. They're still garbage. The thing that was supposed to fix them, they fixed, and they still are garbage. And I wonder why, y'all. I wonder why. No, not because this shit more than the game, because the Falcons are always gone Falcon. While I'm talking about the Falcons, y'all, do me a goddamn favor, can you please? Hey, fans. Hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Falcons fan sad. 3, 2, 1. Let's get to our next voicemail.
What is good, Jono? This is Jerry G. Well, we lost another one. Now we're currently 2-10, even though we got 5 games left out of this season. The Saints are officially eliminated from playoff contention. So, Ziggy, if you're listening to this, you're talking about we're still in the hunt. Guess what? We're not. No more. We're 2-10 and we eliminated? No way. So you can scratch we still in the hunt off your list. It ain't going to happen, brother. So I'm just bringing it to you like I see it. But either way, just want to call in, Jono, and Just want to get that to you and share that with you in the Who Dat Nation. Yes, it was a suck season, even though we got 5 games left to go. But hey, it is what it is. Already looking at 2026 already. So with that being said, it's still Who Dat, and this shit called in the game. Who Dat?
Now I am very impressed because I thought for sure Jerry was going to mention that the Falcons lost to the Jets. But I guess he has more class than me. I mean, I thought for sure I was waiting for him to say, but anyway, y'all saw that Falcons game? I am shocked. Jerry, Falcons fans owe you some love because you could have kicked them while they're down. But unlike Falcons fans, you have class. Good job, Jerry. Good on you. Good on you.
All right. I mean, Saints, they fall to the Dolphins, but I'm not okay with losing. But I'm actually happy because when I put my head on my pillow tonight, I'm gonna be thinking we might have our future quarterback. I'm gonna be thinking Kellen Moore. A lot needs to be desired, but if he figures it out, we could be dangerous next year. Because let's be honest, if we build a team around Tyler Shough, why can't we take this division next year? Who scares you in this division? I mean, for example, look at the Carolina Panthers. I mean, a couple years ago when Bryce Young was a rookie, they won 2 games. You know why? Because they didn't build. He was walking into a bad situation. They didn't build around Bryce Young before they drafted him. But guess what? They built around him. The next season, they won 5 games, and now they are fighting for their division for the division title. If we can build around Tyler Shough, we can be in the mix. The losing can end. Now, I don't know if next season, I'm not saying next season we're going to go all out. But if we just build around Shough, I think he can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to win Super Bowl next year, but if you build around, he can lead you to the promised land. And I'm standing 10 toes down on that. Kool-Aid is actually Kool-Aid. Cameron Jordan, I think, had 2 sacks on Sunday. So this team has a lot of potential for the future. And I'm excited about the future of this team. And LSU, they hired Lane Kiffin. I'm excited about them too. The only team I'm not excited moving forward is the Pelicans because they're trash and they've always been trash. You know, at least with the Saints and LSU, at least we used to have glory days. This is more than the freaking Pelicans would say. We had like 1 year, a couple years ago, and other than that, it's been terrible. But I'm actually excited for the future of our teams. Who Dat? Falcons, y'all lost to the Jets. Remember that y'all are always going to be some booty. And I love it. Who Dat? The shit more than the game.
That's a good call, Mikey. And we are going to talk about Lane Kiffin to LSU after this segment. We're also going to talk about the Pelicans because Mikey made that call before the news even came out that Zion had another random injury. He's going to be out for at least a month. So we'll definitely talk about that. I got some things to say about that after the voicemail segment. Let's get to our next voicemail, though.
This is James.
Oh, already?
Just James. You know, as I was eating my Thanksgiving leftovers, my turkey, my ham, my andouille sausage gumbo, my sweet, sweet potato pie made by Patti LaBelle herself, if only you knew how much I do need you. My beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, hogs, lamb, ram. Yeah, your boy James, just James, gets down in the kitchen. But as I was eating all that, I had to watch those damn New Orleans Saints. And I'm telling y'all, call me Ziggy Jr. I'm trying to tell y'all, the Saints could have won that game. And the Saints would have won that game with a good head coach. I told y'all in September, and y'all said I was being too damn negative. But Kellen Moore is not it. He is not the guy to lead the Saints to any type of prosperity. Tyler Shough actually looks good. And if he actually had a great head coach, he could have won that game for us. I mean, it's not like Tua Tagovailoa was dominating us or anything. That was a winnable game. And a good head coach, rebuild or not, will win that game. We are wasting our time with Kellen Moore. We need to fire him. Jono, you was on your show last week talking about this organization always commits to mediocrity. I'm telling you right now, we're doing the same mistake with Kellen Moore. We are committing to him just because of this, well, it's a rebuild, so we got to give him time. No, we know what the answer is going to be. We know what the end result is going to be. He's going to be fired at some point, so fire him now and make sure that this rebuild is not for nothing. You can call me crazy. Shit, at least you calling. Hey, Miss Barbara. But just know that James, just James, tried telling y'all. Word to Ziggy. Now, I'll be honest. Because we played the Dolphins, I had my Will Smith Miami song all the way queued up. Shout out to my dog, Will Smith. I'm the one that actually got him an audition with Quincy Jones to be on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I'll leave that for another voicemail. But I had that song all queued up, and then I saw your video, Jono, where you used a hoodie in a Blowfish song, and that inspired me. I have to show you how to really do it, because I definitely was the one who gave Darius those lyrics to that song. Yeah, your boy James, just James, gets around. So, DJ, please. You and me, we come from different worlds. You like to laugh at me when I look at other girls, Miss Barbara. Sometimes you're crazy, and then you wonder why. I'm such a baby 'cause the Dolphins make me cry when there's nothing I can do. I've been looking for a girl like you. You look at me, you got nothing left to say. I'm gonna pout at you until I get my way. I won't dance, you won't sing. I just wanna love you, but you wanna wear my ring. When there's nothing I can do, I only wanna be with you. You can call me a fool. I only wanna be with you. Yeah, I only wanna be with you. Yeah, I only wanna be with you. Yeah. The Saints sure got me tangled up in blue, as long as Kellen Moore is our head coach. Do the right thing, Mickey. James, just James, is telling you right now, before you waste any more time, do the right thing, like your Spike Lee. Yeah, I'm tangled up and blue. I only want to be with you. I only want to be with you. I only want to be with you. Yeah.
I send my apologies for inspiring James, just James, to be saying Hootie and a Blowfish after he saw my reaction to the Saints losing to the Miami Dolphins. I only want to be with you. I say you, I mean all of you guys here on the Jono Barnes Show. So please keep leaving voicemails and text messages at 504-484-9170 because we love to give a voice to the voiceless here on the Jono Barnes Show. Now, y'all heard during those calls, a lot of people mentioned about Lane Kiffin going to LSU and about the Pelicans being shitty. We're going to close out the show talking about those things after a word from one of our sponsors. And that sponsor is me, and it's telling you guys that this holiday season, you are a goddamn fool like Hootie and the Blowfish if you don't buy a This Shit More Than the Game shirt.
Look, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it's also the most stressful time of the year. We get it. We at the Jono Barnes Show get it. So we're really trying to make life easy for you guys. Just go on www.thisshitmorethanagame.com right now, and you can buy one of these amazing shirts for only $28.03. Talk about a stocking stuffer, folks. We're making life easy for you this holiday season. Go on www.thisshitmorethanagame.com or jonobarnes.com if you want to be PG-13 and buy a shirt for the holiday season now. This shit more than a holiday, man.
www.thisshitmorethanagame.com And to wrap up this Dolphins recap show, I think the Simpsons said it best.
So you got to hand it to those Dolphins. They just wanted it more.
I could have just said that in the opening segment, and we could have saved ourselves 35 minutes of the opening segment. All right, y'all. There's some things on my mind besides the New Orleans Saints that I want to talk to and hopefully get your guys' opinion of. Let's start with the Pelicans, because if you guys saw today, Zion Williamson will miss extended time with a right adductor injury. Sources told ESPN he will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So he's not going to be back in 3 weeks. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. And if, as a Saints fan, we could be like, well, at least we got the draft to look forward to. The Pelicans are the Atlanta Falcons of the NBA, because the number one pick right now would be with the New Orleans. Oh, look at that. Look, the New Orleans name is in gray, which means that the team next to us gets our pick, which would be, of all teams, Atlanta. So not only are we having a shitty season, not only is our quote-unquote star player out again, we don't even have our top pick. And actually, that number 3 pick that says Indiana, that was the Pelicans pick up until late June, when we, for whatever reason, traded the Pacers their pick back. And then the next day, Tyrese Halliburton tears his Achilles, and now the Pacers are where they at. The Pelicans could have had a great rookie class this year with Derek Queen and Jeremiah Ferris, and had the number 1 pick and number 3 pick in the NBA draft. A long way to go. It's only December 2nd, but good Lord have mercy, does that franchise piss me off. And I worked for that franchise, and I love the people in that franchise. But good Lord have mercy, does this franchise piss me the hell off. Well, at least with the Saints, I can say, yeah, we got a good draft pick coming. We got some young talent. Everything's going to be fine. With the Pelicans, what do we got? What do we got? We got Ferris. We got Queen. But we don't even have a top draft pick next year, and what should be a loaded NBA draft. And we keep going into each goddamn season, believing that Zion is going to get it together. My dad used to always say, a leopard does not change his spots overnight. So why in the hell in year 7 did anybody, whether you're a fan or a front office person or whatever, think that Zion was going to suddenly be different in year 7 than what he has shown us in his first 6 years up to that point? And yet now we are in the same damn situation again. We only have 3 wins into December, and we don't even have a top pick this year. I am over it. I think finally the fans are starting to be over it too. I think fans are finally trying to say, okay, enough with the Zion. Like, even the most optimistic of fans, even the fans who inexplicably, in my opinion, believe that he deserved a year 7 with this franchise, are saying enough is enough. It is time for him to go. And it's absolutely true. It is time for him to go. I don't hate Zion. I think all intents and purposes, he's a good kid. I got to work with him for like 5-6 games in my last year as a ball boy before COVID took over. He was cool as hell. I wish him nothing but the best. I don't think that is for necessarily, I don't want to say lack of effort, because he has had a lack of effort in the past, but I don't think he's like maliciously throwing away his career. But the data is the data, man. And life is short. Even if you only get 90 years of this beautiful planet to live on, in the grand scheme of things, 90 years in the planet that's, how old is this planet? Like 100,000 or whatever years old. So that's a very short life frame. So I don't want to waste my valuable sports life years cheering for mediocrity or cheering for shit that we know is not going to end well. And I knew going into this year 7, that the Zion thing was not going to end well. And yet fans were still saying, nah, you got to believe. And what? I've never seen a player get as much grace from a fan base as Zion got with the New Orleans sports fans. And granted, the Pelicans fans, I'm going to be honest, are a lot softer than Saints fans. Like, Saints fans be rabid. You saw James Carr. He wants to fire Kellen Moore already. Pelicans fans, boy, they give that franchise too much damn grace before they finally say, okay, enough is enough. So I'm not impressed that some of the fans are finally saying enough is enough. Y'all probably should have said enough is enough in year 6 that's when I finally hit my breaking point. I'm like, all right, like, this ain't working out. Like, come on now, what are we doing? And now we have another year of nothing to look forward to. Don't even have a draft pick to look forward to. I'm just over it, man. I'm over it. So I'm hoping that a lot of you fans finally are like, ain't no more, hey, let's give Zion more time. Let's see how Zion looks when he's healthy with this player or that player. Nah, it's done. It's done. I'm going to blow it up. Build around Derek Queen. Build around Jeremiah Ferris. Let's hopefully salvage what has been an absolute atrocious season from the New Orleans Pelicans so far. Please, please, And for our final topic, as a lot of people say, Lane Kiffin is now the new head coach of LSU, and his wallet is a lot more thick. Let's say that his wallet is a lot more thick. And it was a very, very entertaining for me, but definitely a very, very polarizing way that he left Ole Miss. He was dragging his feet a little bit. He wanted to still coach Ole Miss, even though he was accepting the LSU offer. And Ole Miss was like, hell with that, man, get the hell out of our building. And Lane Kiffin was kind of dragging and stomping his feet, leaving his building, saying, well, I deserve to coach this team in the playoffs. And ironically, John Sumrall is leaving Tulane to go to Florida. And they're allowing John Sumrall to coach out Tulane's final 2 games starting this Friday and the AAC championship game. And hopefully if they win that game, they go to the playoffs, and we'll see what happens with that. Whereas Ole Miss told Lane Kiffin, no, you're not. And anybody confused by that and says, well, why would Tulane allow John Sumrall to continue to coach? And Ole Miss would tell Lane Kiffin not to, is that, Tulane and Florida aren't rivals. They're not even on the same stratosphere, all due respect to Tulane. So Tulane's like, yeah, whatever. Like John Sumrall, you did an amazing work here in Tulane. We'll let you finish out strong. We're not necessarily in competition with Florida that we feel like you working for us and them right now is going to be a detriment to us. They hope not, at least. We'll see how they look on Friday. Whereas Lane Kiffin wanted his cake and eat it too. The best equivalent I saw was, imagine you worked for Pepsi and you signed with Coca-Cola, but you still wanted to work with Pepsi for like their last major project that y'all were working on. Pepsi's gonna be like, hell no, you work for the competitor now. Like Ole Miss and LSU are competitors, they're rivals, if you want to say. You can't work for LSU and still coach Ole Miss. So I actually was on Ole Miss side for that. I was like, Lane Kiffin, like, what are you doing? I can't work for Microsoft, sign with Apple, and tell Bill Gates, but let me keep working on this final laptop that you guys are working on. Bill Gates gonna say, man, get the hell out of my office. Like, you work for the competition now. Can't do that. What kind of reality do you live in? Lane Kiffin definitely lives in a very, very distorted reality, which makes him a very, very polarizing head coach. But I will say this. I think he's a hell of a coach, and I'm excited. I was not excited for the Brian Kelly hire. I talked myself into it because I was like, well, you can't fail at LSU when you are at least even a top 30 coach. You can't fail. I was wrong about that because he damn sure failed. But I think Lane Kiffin is going to do some good things at LSU. I think he is what I like in head coaches. He's fun. He's charismatic. He has a lot of moxie. He's going to be polarizing. There's going to be some times where he pisses off even us, but there's going to be a lot of times where he pisses off opposing fan bases. I'm looking forward to that LSU and Ole Miss game next year because, boy, it's going to be in Mississippi too. Them Ole Miss fans are going to be rabid. Like I even might want to buy a ticket to that game just to be a part of it, just to see like how crazy and deranged them Ole Miss fans are going to be because they are pissed. They are pissed at the way Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin usually leaves every team that he eventually bolts he kind of like burns the building down on his way out. Sometimes not through his fault. Sometimes it is his fault. And maybe in 5 years, us LSU and Louisiana fans are gonna be pissed off because I'm sure, he's kind of always been like the grass is green on the other side coach, where maybe an NFL team calls him if he is successful at LSU and he goes to an NFL team and, maybe in 2028, 2029, we're like, God damn it, Lane Kiffin, how can you leave LSU, in this predicament or whatever? But that's a 2028 or 2029 problem. Right now, he's the head coach at LSU, and I'm excited to see what he does with the Tigers. I found it very entertaining watching the Ole Miss fans go through like the stages of grief throughout this whole process. McLevin says Lane is a cornball. He's a character for sure. He will be better than boring BK Brian Kelly already. Well, he's our cornball now, McLevin. So we'll see what he does. But I like Lane Kiffin. I think he's a great coach. I think he's gonna do good at LSU. I really do. It makes me wonder though, how do you guys feel about these coaches like Lane Kiffin and like John Sumrall going to new schools in the middle of their teams doing amazing seasons? Like Ole Miss and possibly Tulane will be in the playoffs. Now Sumrall will still get to coach if they do make the playoffs because Tulane say, yeah, we'll let you coach, but Lane Kiffin will not get to coach. And to me, it's an indictment not on the coaches, but on the NCAA calendar. Like, they got to alter that, man, because it's not fair to the schools, definitely not to the fan bases that, in the middle of Ole Miss's best season in years, and one of Tulane's best season in I don't want to say years, because we had some good seasons the past few years, but one of Tulane's best seasons overall. We got to deal with our coaches now having to serve two masters, because that's the game. Like, if you are a great head coach and you take a team that's not used to being good and make them good, that usually means that a major program like LSU or Florida is going to come and throw a lot of money at you. John Sumrall is a lot richer today than he was on last Friday. $7.5 million a year sounds real good. And that's actually chump change to what Lane Kiffin is going to be making. I can't blame them from leaving their schools. I'm not mad at John Sumrall. He was very this shit more than the game certified. He was true to New Orleans, and I know a lot of Tulane fans are mad that he left, but I mean, are you going to turn down $7.5 million a year? Ask yourself that. If somebody comes to you tomorrow and says, hey, I want to give you a promotion at my company for $7.5 million, are you going to stay true to but I'm dumb, I'm loyal to my organization, I'm loyal to my job until please, you're a damn fool if you are. So I'm not mad at Lane for leaving. I'm not mad at John Sumrall for leaving. I think that the NCAA needs to alter their calendar so that schools like Ole Miss and Tulane, though, aren't being penalized for having great seasons where now they got to worry about, is their coach going to be able to manage, for John Sumrall at least, recruiting for Florida and doing his Florida duties, like building out his staff at Florida while trying to game plan for a huge AAC championship game and possibly a playoff game in the next 2 weeks. Whereas Ole Miss, and one of their best seasons in a long time, don't even have their head coach anymore who led them to that season and are trying to, manage survival at this point with what they have left after Lane Kiffin left them for LSU. I think the NCAA needs to alter their calendar, but I'm not mad at Lane Kiffin. I'm not mad at John Sumrall. Make y'all goddamn money. I actually think Lane Kiffin is going to be very successful at LSU, and I'm looking forward to it. If anything, like McLevin said, he's entertaining. He's going to be a character. It's going to be fun. If we lose, it's going to be better than boring, bland Brian Kelly press conferences. I'll say that. Lane is going to, he might burn a building down, but he's going to burn a building down with some fireworks. So very interesting to see. An exciting time if you're an LSU diehard. Maybe not the most exciting time if you're a Tulane fan, but short term, Tulane's in the AAC championship game this Friday. If they win, they get to go to the playoffs, and who would ever thought, right? When the playoffs got expanded to 16 teams, that Tulane would make it over LSU, or before LSU ever made it. So I'm excited, man. I will be wearing my green and green and light blue this shit more than the game shirt Friday, and I'm cheering on Tulane. I hope that they do the damn thing and give us New Orleans and just Louisiana sports fans something to cheer for when it comes to football this season, because Lord knows we can't turn our attention to the Pelicans. That's going to make us even more depressed. We damn sure can't cheer or be excited for the Saints, besides just Tyler Shough looking pretty impressive and our kicker looking good and competent. That's how low the ball is right now when it comes to the Saints. So we shall see. I appreciate everybody who joined the show tonight. Even this guy who says, eat my Sasquatch. That's what happens when you do a show with the new iPhone format that I got. I got a lot of randoms, which is fine. I like that. I hope people are discovering the show for the first time. All I do, if you want me to eat your Sasquatch, is you do me a favor, please.
Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Bucs fan sad. 3, 2, 1.
And I'll leave y'all with this as we prepare for Saints versus Bucs this Sunday. I know a lot of you guys love to see Lil Jono's reaction to Saints games as he is going deeper and deeper into his rookie season of his first year of being a Saints fan and being the first ever this shit more than the game born baby, and what that entitles him to do. So I close out the show with this, you guys. Slim Cell is fine. Hey, as long as he subscribes and likes the show, Slim Cell, I'll take any comment. It's a Jono Bowen show, brother. The cage is always open, and we allow anybody to come in. Just know that when that door shuts in that cage, you might not like how you came in. You might not leave how you came in, that's for sure. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I will be back next week to recap the Saints versus the Buccaneers. Hey, maybe we hold up an upset. Maybe we help Carolina out. Until then, hopefully next week goes a lot better than what this past Sunday went for Lil Jono. And y'all want to know why? Because this shit more than a game.
Sometimes you gotta make do. Is that what making the Saints watching them does to you?
Saints have all 3 timeouts.
Well, you were born into this lifestyle, son. I don't know what to tell you. Get him. Sack. Yeah, that makes you stop fun. Good Saints plays. Saints, stop making my kid cry. Do good plays. Look at that. Boomed it. Boomed it. Should have been our kicker. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, oh, he got picked off. Wow. Ooh. My heart skipped a beat. How is my heart skipping a beat for a 2-9 team, buddy? And we didn't get it. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. What are we doing, Kellen Moore? Oh my God. Oh my God. What was the play call? And it was 2nd and 1. Oh, buddy, I am so sorry I made you a Saints fan. But you gotta get used to it at a young age.
Juno.